AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Lori Bertman's going to join us in 15 minutes. Of course, Lori, daughter of late coach Skip Bertman. And Lori's going to join us a little bit to talk about the celebration of life coming up in 6 days. And what the family is kind of requesting for those that want to honor Skip in a certain way, what and how they can do that. So we're excited to have Lori here in about a dozen minutes from right now. Ross Jackson's going to join us from California. He's out there with the Saints. That's coming up in 1 hour from right now. If you missed it, there as we wrapped up last hour, Jack Pyburn is among 16 players that have been granted a TRO, a temporary restraining order, granting them a fifth year of college eligibility. Now, this is all contingent upon the NCAA. So in theory, he could play, but we're waiting on the NCAA to file their appeal in federal court to the judge in Colorado, granting all those players a blanket waiver for eligibility. So the NCAA says, oh, no, you're not. And so they've appealed. So now individual players have been granted their TRO, but we're waiting on the ruling from the NCAA's appeal case to see what all may transpire. So there's still more hurdles to clear before Pyburn, in theory, could be back at LSU or in college football. But that would be a massive, massive development if LSU and other schools are actually able to add these veteran college football players here right in the 11th hour. So we'll keep you posted as we learn more. The Saints are looking potentially to add players at receiver after Jordyn Tyson's injury. And news broke the Saints worked out 2 players after Jordyn Tyson's injury. Chase Claypool and Josh Reynolds both worked out for the New Orleans Saints. And first of all, I do not think the Saints working out Claypool and Reynolds is a commentary on the rookies. So as to say, I don't think the Saints look at it and go, well, we're this deep into camp and we had an injury and we're not sold that our rookies are ready, so we're going to go work out some veterans. I think it's understanding you are always working to improve your roster. The old adage is you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You're never staying the same in the NFL. So if you have the opportunity to get an updated scouting report on a guy or potentially bring in a guy who's better than someone you have, you do it. And worst case, you have an updated scouting report, or maybe you're just looking to replace a body. Because with Jordyn Tyson out, you're down a receiver. So maybe you want to bring in someone to add to your numbers for a camp body. Claypool and Reynolds are interesting. Chase Claypool's 28 years old. Josh Reynolds is 31. Reynolds, you might remember, was 6'3" receiver, former Texas A&M Aggie. It's a little bit of a weird end to his career, which we'll talk about in just a smidge. But Chase Claypool is the one that just has this bizarre fall from grace. You know, he went to Notre Dame, and he was a second-round pick of the Steelers, and his career started off awesome. I mean, he had nearly 1,000 receiving yards as a rookie back in the COVID year, 9 touchdowns. A year later, 860 yards, a couple of more scores. So 11 receiving touchdowns in his first 2 years in the league. And then in 2022, it just kind of started falling apart for him. He ends up getting traded to the Bears for a second-round pick. And the Bears stunk, and he criticized the team, and they ended up leaving him at home for a Thursday night football game, and then they end up trading him to Miami. So he goes to Miami and does bupkis in that season. They release him at the end of the year. Then he goes into 2024, signs a one-year deal with the Bills. So this was, again, really good start to his career in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh trades him to Chicago. Chicago stinks. He's a bad egg in the locker room. Chicago trades him to Miami. He doesn't ever break through against Miami or for Miami, and so then they cut him. He's a free agent. He signs with Buffalo. This was Chase Claypool about not meeting his personal expectations during training camp before that 2024 season with Buffalo.
I know there's times where it can be frustrating if I'm not living up to my potential, but if it's frustrating in the outside world, it's even more frustrating for me. I understand where I should be, and I understand that I haven't met those expectations, but there's changes that happen through organizations and through my journey. Things have changed, and sometimes things work out well for you, and sometimes they don't. I went from being a starter, playing every play, to going to Miami and really not playing at all. So it almost made me realize my love for the game, because even though I was doing nothing that I wanted to do, or expected to do, special teams and stuff like that at the time, I realized how much I love football, because when I did get the opportunity to be out there.
So that was a guy who felt really motivated going into that 2024 season with Buffalo. Sean McDermott, the coach at the time, had this to say about Chase Claypool going into 2024.
You don't find that a lot around the NFL, where a player has been at a certain level and then is on a mission right now to reclaim what he once was in that regard. And those are my words, maybe not fair to Chase, respectfully, but I would just say, very impressed with his day-to-day approach.
So it seemed really exciting going into 2024. And then he got a toe. He had a toe. Tore a ligament and a tendon in his second toe in August during training camp, just shortly after McDermott made those comments, and he missed the entire season, was released on an injury settlement. 2025, he tried out for the Packers, didn't make it. Now he's trying out for the Saints. So it's bizarre, man, because he had a really good first 2 years in 20 and 21, but now you're talking about 5 years later, and the dude has bounced around from Pittsburgh to Chicago to Miami to Buffalo to out of the league, can't get a roster spot. He's 28 years old. Is there anything left in there? I don't know, but it's an opportunity to go work out for a roster spot. And then the other is Josh Reynolds, who another guy that has sort of an interesting career arc, because this was a guy that was, he came out of Texas A&M, was a fourth-round pick of the Rams, and ended up having some productivity and some productive seasons early in his career, and he's played in 121 games. But the two things that have sort of derailed him are injuries and age. In 2023, he played in all 17 games for Detroit. But then in 2024, he kind of had a similar arc as what happened to Claypool. So he goes to Denver in 2024 on a 2-year deal, and then has a hand injury and goes to IR, and then was injured in a shooting. And then he gets waived. So then Jacksonville picks him up in 2024, and just as a really limited impact in 24. He ended up playing 5 games for Denver and then 4 games for Jacksonville. And then last year he played with the Jets, played in just 5 games with 3 starts and had 11 catches. So at least he's been in the league, which Claypool has not been the last 2 years. But you're talking about a 31-year-old in Josh Reynolds, who is certainly on the back end of his career, and you wonder just how much does he have left in the tank. And so would you rather a guy who's an aging veteran who was at one point productive but hasn't been in a couple of years, or would you rather err on the side of some of your young players, giving them that opportunity? Because that's why you go and you compete for it. But I look at the receiver position for the Saints, and I see you got Chris Olave, who you just paid a boatload of money to. You paid him like a top 10 receiver in the NFL, and you're expecting him to go play like it. And you're really excited about Jordyn Tyson opposite him, But obviously that's not going to happen for a couple of months now. So what's left? You've got Devon Vele, who, again, had one game last year where he was really good. He had 8 catches against Miami. But the first 9 games he played with the Saints, he had 6 catches in 9 games. Like, we were lampooning Devon Vele in that trade up until that point. So are you really convinced that that's a guy over 17 games that's going to give you 50 catches, 60 catches, whatever it may be? It's hard to project that. You can hope for it. It's hard to project that. And you got Bryce Lance and Barry and Brown, who are rookies, and you got Bub Means, who spent his entire rookie year injured. So I think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of ability there. You don't have a lot of skins on the wall. So this is the contradiction you have between the 2 guys you're working out and the guys that are there. Now, you also have Kevin Austin and Ronnie Bell and Jalen Marino-Cropper and Trey Palmer and Brock Rechsteiner, who going to be suspended for 6 games. And Mason Tipton still hanging around, although he's injured. So you got bodies there. But can you upgrade with one of those veterans? If the Saints do decide to make a move and sign either Claypool or Reynolds, we'll certainly let you know and talk about it. But a best-case scenario would be if you're a young talent that you've invested draft picks in, and you would throw Vele in the mix there as well, because you did trade for Vele, and you traded a draft pick for Vele. You hope those guys can start to step up and make good on the investment that you made, the draft capital investment you made in those guys. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, fmolhealth.org/LSU. That's where you can go to learn more about the Championship Health Partnership. Of course, Lane Kiffin, Jordan Seaton, Sam Levitt, Trey'Dez Green, some of the best players that are going to help us stand up and cheer this fall inside of Tiger Stadium. They're Championship Health partners and NIL partners with Our Lady of the Lake. But I tell you, whether it's the NIL deals, whether it's the Student Center, whether it's their world-class cancer care, heart health, if it's stroke or pediatrics, you can get world-class care right here at home with FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health partner of LSU Athletics. Learn more online at fmolhealth.org/LSU, fmolhealth.org/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together, we roar. On Friday morning, we lost Skip Bertman at age 88, and we spent the day Friday paying tribute to the life and legacy of Skip Bertman. We know that there will be a celebration of life coming up on Tuesday at the Maravich Center. Skip's daughter, Lori, is going to join us next. A little bit of info on how the family is continuing to honor Skip's legacy and how we can all help. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. I love reading these great 5-star reviews because what you see consistently is why they have more than double the amount of 5-star reviews than the next closest competitor. Here's one from Sarah Galloway, who said, Jason, technician, came out in less than an hour of my phone call and had my AC fixed within the next hour. With my special needs son, I couldn't chance sitting in the heat for an entire day. How about that? AC goes out. Sarah calls River City's 1 Hour Air. Within 2 hours of her phone call, her AC is working again. Nights, holidays, and weekends, they always come out to make sure that you're comfortable. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Better coverage for less money. That's what you get over at Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450. Give them a shout. 293-0450. Call Adam, Jay, the whole crew over at Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450. Or you can always log on to lainsurance.net. Process is so easy. I've told you about it for years. We all have to pay for insurance, and too many of us are overpaying and or underinsured. If you want to get great coverage from a top-rated company and potentially save money, let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. They're at the office right now. Give them a shout. The process is easy. They do all the legwork, and literally the worst thing that could happen is they run the numbers and go, hey, what you have now is perfect. Stick with that. 293-0450.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
On Friday, we all said goodbye to arguably the greatest, most titanic figure in LSU athletics history. Skip Bertman gone at the age of 88, and obviously the remembrances have poured in. And we spent the entire day Friday talking to former coaches and players and assistants and dignitaries who knew and loved Skip and shared their remembrances. And we're really looking forward to Tuesday, the public memorial at the Maravich Center, where we will all be able to gather and remember Skip, and it'll be a wonderful, wonderful event and opportunity. And certainly the families felt that outpouring as well. And Skip's daughter, Lori, is good enough to join us here for a few minutes to share a little bit about that, and also what direction that the family would like for a lot of the honorees and the remembrances of Skip to go. Lori, we appreciate the time. Thank you. Our condolences. I know I'm not the first, but I'll be the latest to offer you our sincere condolences on Skip. Thanks for the time today, Lori. How are you?
Thank you. We're doing okay. We're okay. Everyone's outpouring of support has been very helpful, and we really appreciate it.
If you don't mind me just asking a quick follow-up on that, Lori, can you maybe just elaborate and share a little bit, who you've heard from, and maybe someone or something that might surprise you or might surprise people to hear?
Okay. So, sure. I mean, I have heard from, I guess Steve Scalise called me. That was weird, kind of strange. Let's see. I think a lot of I work a little bit in the field of sports, so different stars and different people, different athletes have called me. I'm very just surprised that, it's just the tributes have been across the board as it relates to different, not just baseball, but all different types of people. So I will tell you that I am so brain dead that I can't. I've gotten calls from just about everyone.
I can imagine.
I can imagine. I mean, really, and I know that some of the, all the politicians, obviously, and then, but people like, Billie Jean King or other people just would call and wish their condolences, right? So that would be an example.
That's amazing, but it illustrates the breadth of and the scope of the types of people that Skip influenced throughout his life. And Lori, I know a lot of your professional life has actually been dedicated to helping fundraise and guide a lot of the things and missions that meant a lot to Skip. And I know that's something that you and the family are hoping that with his passing, people who want to do nice things, remember Skip, might be able to help. So maybe Laura, we could talk a little bit about that. Let's start, if we could, I guess, with the College Baseball Hall of Fame, because that's something I know you have spent a tremendous amount of your time and energy helping fundraise for that venue, and that's something that meant a lot to Skip as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I currently serve as a trustee on the Hall of Fame, and I've been on the Hall of Fame trustee I've been there for about 3 years. But my dad was their original inductee with folks like Dave Winfield and Will Clark. And I remember sitting under a tent in Lubbock, Texas, thinking, wait, what is happening here? I think they deserve better than this. But wonderful people, and they've been really working over time. I think my dad, I remember him asking me to help him fundraise years ago when he was helping out the board and being an ambassador for them. And then they never had a home, and then finally settled upon Overland Park, Kansas, which was a kind of a very good neutral site for them. Right near Omaha, and they are in the middle of a capital campaign and trying to build out this beautiful building with incredible design. And so we have been working to do that and make sure that LSU and my dad are represented well, and the story of his legacy is preserved and told to young people to come. And then the other piece that I think is newer to the LSU community is the Skip Bertman Coach of the Year Award, which has been around since 2013. But when I got on their board, I immediately said, well, we want something that's worthy of Skip. And this award gives out to not just Division I coaches, but also Division III and the NAIA and others. And what we have done is essentially gotten Marucci to sponsor it, and we've also endowed it and redid the award. And what I've done is I have people now we're giving it out in Omaha every year on the second day of the series.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we won't know who wins the series. And a funny thing is my dad said to me, when Jay wins 5, that's when he gets it.
Does Jay know that story?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I said, Jay, you got to win 5. You got to win 5. And so it's really not just about winning. It's about all the things that Skip has put into building a program, mentoring his players, about being a part of the community, and really making something out of nothing, which was what he did when he came here to LSU. So we look at that as well. And, so last year we ended up giving to USCLA, John Savage, and wow, what a tremendous human being, and had lost in the first round of the regional after going, number one. And it was devastating, but he still went to accept the award because he really disrespected Skip so much and the affiliation with that award. And I could imagine that would have been hard to go up to Omaha to do that. So I'm really excited. I think the College Baseball Hall of Fame represents all the great schools, and I think LSU is going to play a huge part and in the story of college baseball, and my dad as well. So
that's so well said. Lori Bertman is our guest. As you mentioned, Lori is on the College Baseball Hall of Fame board as a trustee, and was very impactful, important to Skip to build this venue and this facility. And so, Lori, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're asking people in lieu of flowers, if they want to make a donation in Skip's name or honor, where should they make that donation?
Well, there'll be several places. So on the program, you can go to LSUsports.net, and if you go there, they'll have there's four different organizations that we're recommending, and that's on the site, and then it will also be in the program. There'll be a QR code where they can just hit the QR code, and it will actually go right to that site as well. And then each one of those organizations has a description and a way to donate to that organization. It will take you right to them, and they're all equipped to be memorial donations. So to Skip, so they'll ask you, and you should say in memory of Skip, and then we'll each one of them will do something in his memory.
I love it. Lori, it's an amazing thing you're doing. We pulled it up right here on the website. Yeah, so as Lori mentioned, if you go to LSUsports.net, you'll see the post about the memorial service for Skip. And then if you scroll down, you'll see it. Paul, would you mind? There it is. So it's Athletes for Hope, College Baseball Hall of Fame, the LSU Baseball Coaches Committee, the Baseball Excellence Fund, and then the Skip Bertman Leadership Endowed Scholarship through the Tiger Athletic Foundation. We talked about a couple of those already, Lori. Could you maybe give us a little bit of a tidbit on Athletes for Hope and why that meant so much to Skip and to your family?
Sure. And I want to just say something. The Leadership Endowed Scholarship is actually at the LSU Foundation, and
Okay.
I want to just tell you one. I don't mean to skew you off here, but really quickly.
No, please.
That foundation, that scholarship was when a bunch of fans came to me when I was working at the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, and they came to me and said, "Hey, we want to do something for your father." And I asked my dad, what would be special to you? And he said, they set up a fund, I would like it to be purely education and to purely go to non-athletes. And so this fund has given out over, it's one of their largest scholarships. So we raised around $2 million back in 2000. So think about that endowed now. It's given out over $150,000 in scholarships to non-athletes. And so he's very proud of that. And I wanted to make sure that was included in here.
Yeah.
So that one is not, that's the one above is with the Tiger Athletic Foundation, but I'll get with Athletes for Hope because I think Athletes for Hope is very special and still going on here at LSU. Athletes for Hope is in its 20th anniversary, and it essentially helps, teach players. It actually was an organization that was put together by famous athletes like Muhammad Ali, Andre Agassi, Mario Lemieux, Cal Ripken, Mia Hamm. I mean, just an incredible group of people that said literally one line, we just want to help the world. That was the first moment. And so we want to use our platform to do that. And so what Athletes for Hope was about was just doing that, getting athletes to do that. Well, they decided to start Athletes for Hope University, and they tried at Tulane at first, and then came down here, and came to me and said, "Hey, what about LSU?" And I said, "We would love to try to do that, but I don't think that I'm going to have as much success as my father." So he had just finished being athletic director at the time. And I said, "Hey, Dad, why don't you get involved with this?" And he did, and he really got them in there. And to this day, you can see how many how many athletes have done service. Now, this is prior to NIL.
Sure.
So these guys, I mean, I remember Paul Maneri just closed practice one day, and I went somewhere with the entire team to do to conduct service. They all went to Miracle League. They went to different vetted places, and then we also wanted them to go on their own journey. And then Southern joined in, work done, helped us get through to Southern, and Southern has absolutely been phenomenal. Especially their women's volleyball team, I find. But our baseball team has been great, and they go out to schools, they go out different places, and they still are doing that. And Athletes for Hope University still uses them to talk to kids and youth about their CHAMPS program around mental health and making sure that athletes, about the struggles and for kids that are getting into sports. And I think that it's also one of my favorite organizations too, kind of secretly, but my dad really bonded with this organization because he's always had his teams, conduct service, and it meant a lot to him. So they've clocked a lot of hours in Baton Rouge, and now they're in 11 colleges, and many of them are not, the big NIL colleges, because that does provide a little bit of a different flavor now. So They're adjusting to that.
Laura, it's pretty remarkable. Again, if you want to go to LSUsports.net, they've done a great job here. You all have done a great job linking these four organizations. You go to the link at LSUsports.net for the Skip Bertman Celebration of Life. All the details are there. When you scroll down, you'll see the direct links where if you want to donate in Skip's honor to Athletes for Hope, the College Baseball Hall of Fame, the LSU Baseball Coaches Committee Baseball Excellence Fund, and the Skip Bertman Leadership Endowed Scholarship that Lori just talked about. The links to donate are all embedded right there. Lori, we're a little short on time, but I'd love if you could, if for the many people that no doubt are gonna flock to the PMAC on Tuesday to celebrate your dad, what can they expect that evening to be like? Because I know you and your family and a lot of former players have worked really hard to put it together.
I think that, they can, I think a lot of people will be there, but I think that they can expect to hear from, the people who know and have loved Skip the most and very much from LSU. And they'll, Ben McDonald will be speaking on behalf of the players. I will speak on behalf of the family, but they'll also hear from Jay Johnson. And it will, and then, of course, Bill Franquez will MC it, because what would it be without Bill Franquez MCing it?
No doubt.
But I think that will be pretty, quick. And what I hope is that what I've heard, and I don't know if you're doing this, but I know a lot of, podcasters and other people are going to be outside trying to get other people's stories about Skip and just hear talk to people about Skip and what it's meant to them. And I think you'll hear from a little bit more from the family, from our perspective, which, may be a little bit different, but also very positive. So I think it's going to be wonderful. And these folks that are all here, I really want to thank the Tiger Athletic Foundation for pulling this off and putting these all. I put these together and they put them on their websites. I really wanted to thank them for doing that, and to thank LSU for putting together such a big event for my father. It means the world to myself and my sisters and my nephew Ezra, who is here pacing because. But I think at some point, Matt, he's a good interview. So he is the only chance Skip has to have a baseball guy in the family ever. He is the only grandson so he'll be with there, but he may be actually a fun interview to come in, because he has a lot of really fun Skip stories that even the daughters don't have, because Skip talks differently certainly to guys and people, especially people who are playing baseball.
Lori, let's connect me with Ezra. Would love to, because I know he played for the Rougarou this summer as well, so would love to do that conversation. Lori, you're a remarkable person. I appreciate so much the time today, and Skip and Sandy did a great job raising you all, and I know there's a ton of people who are very anxious to celebrate your dad and honor Skip's life, and what a life and what a legacy. So
thank you, Matt. Thank you for all you've done and to do, I've been watching you, and thank you for having these guests on and talking about my dad. It's just very nice to watch and been very helpful in the grieving process. So thank you so much.
Lori, we loved Skip too. He meant so much to all of us, and I think everyone owes it to Skip for the many great memories he gave us to do our small part in preserving his legacy, which is why so many people are going to be very excited to be there Tuesday.
That's great. And one last point is I do want to say I do not benefit from any of these organizations whatsoever. I am only a volunteer. So just want to make that clear.
I don't think it's a point of clarification that was necessary. I think most people understand, but I'm glad you did. But I think the job you've done volunteering for these organizations is remarkable in helping Skip and helping Skip honor his legacy, not only now, but even when you all worked hand in hand on all of them. So, Lori Bertman, thank you for the time. We'll see you on Tuesday, if not before, okay?
Thank you, Matt. Okay.
It's our pleasure. It's after further review. What a day Tuesday's going to be. That's pretty remarkable strength, though. Obviously, they lost. Lori's mom, Sandy, we all know passed in March of 25. And to lose both your parents in such a short time is, I'm fortunate. I have both my parents. Still have both my grandfathers are both living as well. I realize as a 44-year-old, very fortunate That is not lost on me at all, but I'm sure a lot of you can empathize. But Skip was a Titan. I mean, we said it all on Friday, but much more still to be said on Tuesday at the PMAC. We're looking forward to it. Let me grab a break. It's AFR.
AFR.
REV, Rev Fiber. Official internet partner of LSU Athletics, RevFiber.com, RevFiber.com. REV, RevFiber.com. Hey, listen, if you're not thrilled with your internet service, and Lord knows there's a lot of you out there that aren't, we all hear the complaints, whether it's at your home or your office, you got to call Rev. You got to switch. Rev Fiber. And they continue to grow their fiber network. And remember, fiber is buried under the ground, so you don't have to worry about weather or anything disrupting your internet, your cable, any of that stuff, because the cables are buried under the ground. So it's more secure, lightning-fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs. So if you want to see the area that Rev has laid fiber, maybe your neighborhood or where your office building is, you can go to the website, revfiber.com, R-E-V, revfiber.com. Lightning-fast internet speeds, home automation, security, phone, cable, they do it all. It's Rev Fiber. Proud partner of LSU Athletics, REV, revfiber.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
On the show text line, Club said, kindergarten grade level, age 5 or 6 for apple juice. Use.
Jeez, that guy sounds like he's no fun. Like, I'm sorry, you can't have apple juice in first grade?
Frederick.
That's brutal.
I stopped by my son apple juice when he was 8.
Kid's loss. That's that kid's loss, man.
Derek. My buddy's dad calls Crown and Sprite apple juice.
That's it. It does taste like it a little bit.
Yakin. When you quit drinking out of sippy cups.
Nah.
Cody says 13. That's closer to you, Muse. It's closer.
You drink what you want to drink,
Closer.
man. Drink what you want.
This guy on the
Do it how
text
you
line
like to.
said 12. Saying Muse.
It's ridiculous.
Just proving a point here that societally, little kids drink apple juice.
Yeah.
Adults don't drink apple juice. I'm not saying no adults. Saying you as a man in his 30s drinking apple juice, you are an outlier. You are an exception. You are not the rule. So don't act like you are in the majority. You are in a vast minority of people who are adult humans that drink apple juice.
Right where I want to be, man.
That's fine.
It's delicious.
You do you. I'm just saying you're in an overwhelming minority, which is not where you started this conversation, thinking that that was a very normal and appropriate thing to do. You may enjoy it, and that's fine. Most people develop a palate as they get older, and they drink things that aren't normally reserved for, the snack just before nap time.
I mean, I do that too. It's not like I drink other things. Like, I currently don't have apple juice at all in my fridge. I don't really have anything in my fridge. You need to go to the store.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Proud partner of LSU Athletics. Be on the lookout for the new Relief Windows commercials. They just filmed them in Tiger Stadium. A few pretty hulking freshman defensive linemen were standing with Brandon Holly, a former JUCO center, by the way. So you got the former offensive lineman and the defensive lineman there in that spot. Looking forward to seeing them. You see some of the photos, the behind-the-scenes photos there as well. But the bottom line is, if you need energy-efficient replacement windows, you want to beautify the exterior of your home, add an extra layer of security with those impact-resistant windows, you can do it. All courtesy of Relief Windows, and they never take $1 from you until they're done and you're finished. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Thanks again to Lori Bertman, who just joined us. Went a little long, but it was totally worth it. So we're going to have a quick segment here. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour in just a smidge. Ross Jackson's here in 15 minutes with an update from Saints training camp. A lot of you are asking, because I understand this is a story that is developing, and I am very candidly, please do me a favor, Muse. grab the sound, because I asked Lane Kiffin about this last week. Would you please get Lane Kiffin's answer on this question that I asked? I believe it was last Thursday's press conference or whatever the day was. We had a presser with Lane last week, maybe Tuesday. Maybe it was Thursday when I asked him about the 5-for-5 ruling, and his answer in effect was, we consider everything, and every time. And listen, I have asked for weeks now a lot of people around the LSU football program about this potential ruling and players that might be able to come back if they gain eligibility. If you missed it today, Jack Pyburn is one of 16. Is one of 16 players who have been granted now a TRO, a temporary restraining order, for a fifth year of eligibility. Now, Jack Pyburn is presently in training camp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he had 2 sacks in the game against the Jets on Friday. But if he doesn't make the team, this would effectively open the door for him to return to college. There is some ambiguity, however, because as I understand it, I have reached out to Jack, I've reached out to his family, I'm trying to get some answers on this for you, but as I understand, he did accept a low 6-figure signing bonus from Tampa. And if you accept money, the NCAA rule is very clear that you are no longer eligible. So does this TRO effectively would override that NCAA rule, but the NCAA is still appealing that Colorado judge's ruling. And if the NCAA wins its appeal, in theory, all of these players then would not be eligible. But if the NCAA loses its appeal, it would open the door for players like Jack Pyburn, Xavier Harris, the defensive lineman from Ole Miss, Wydett Williams, the safety from Ole Miss, Daquan Wright, the tight end from Ole Miss, all to potentially, with others, jump back into college football. The other big question that they have is how many spots at LSU do you have? I was told last week they would have 1 spot available. But if you needed to, you'd make room, if you know what I mean. So there's just so much that's unknown at this point. As we can dig and uncover more, we'll certainly talk about it. But Pete Nakos has that report today about the 16 players, many who have spent time in the NFL now, an extra year of college eligibility. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You also do Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James & Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Remember, Darren has his guaranteed sale program. It works like this. Call Darren James. I'll give you his cell number in just a second. So get your pen or get your phone out, whatever. Darren's going to take a look at your home. Y'all are going to sit down. He's going to go through the numbers with you. You're going to decide on a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he will have your home bought with cash, or he will sell it for you for free for his half of the commission. And yes, there are people who have collected on this. It is a very real program. Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666. This is Darren's cell. 335-7666. One more time. 335-7666 or agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
We're brought to you by River Parish Contractors. Check out our friends at rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com. They are hiring. Tell you every day. Call Big Jake if you're interested. Now listen, they had a record-setting Q1. They had a record-setting Q2. And y'all, we are steamrolling toward a record-setting Q3. And what that means for you if you're looking for work is they ain't running out of work anytime soon. You know, sometimes it happens where you get hired and then after a job or a turnaround's done, then you're out of work. Not at River Parish Contractors. They are looking for people because they got jobs to fill. Right now, heavy equipment operators in Geismar and Norco. If you're interested, you want to get more information, you can get it online at rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Or you can call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors to get all the deets. You want to work for a great company and be home with your family every single night? It's River Parish Contractors.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Ross Jackson joins us from California in about 10 minutes from right now. Right now, mute. So, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, Cubs and White Sox were tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning on Tuesday night, and then Alex Bregman stepped to the plate.
Line drive, base hit center field. Here comes Kelly. Here's the throw to the plate. And Carson is in. And the Cubs take round 2.
Bregman with the walk-off single, part of a 2-for-5 day, 2 RBI. Really big night for him there. Kevin Gausman got the start for the Cubs in that game. 4 1/3, 3 earned, struck out 5 in his performance. Grant Taylor on the other side for the White Sox through a shutout inning of relief. Josh Smith did this.
Well hit ball. Deep right field. Gone! Josh Smith with a rocket to right for his second home run as a Blue Jay.
That's right.
His third of the season, and it's 10-3.
That's what we do.
Part of a 10-5 win.
That's what we do, Muse.
Part of a 10-5 win. 2-for-4 night for Smith with the 2 RBI there on the home run. Alex Lang, shutout inning of relief. Love to see that. Tommy White, 1-for-4 in that same ball game with an RBI. Paul Skeens, 3 earned and 4 1/3 here today. 4 walks, 5 punch-outs. That comes after skipping a start. Aaron Nola's on the bump for the Phillies tonight. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. At Lee Michaels, they are in the celebration business, celebrating a birthday like Gordon McKernan, who turned 60 today. I saw it on Facebook. Well, I saw it on the interstate because I saw it on thing, but then I just saw on Facebook that it is actually today. You want to celebrate an anniversary? You want to celebrate graduation? You want to celebrate a promotion? Some big life milestone? Celebrate with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, online at LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We are glad you're rolling along with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We'll get you caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. When we come back, we're heading to California. Any more fights with the Saints and the Cowboys?
AFR.
Hancock Whitney Bank, the official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and the official banking partner of your New Orleans Saints. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. HancockWhitney.com/MATT. There's many reasons why I have chosen to bank with Hancock Whitney for like literally my entire life, as long as I've had a checking account. The app, which wasn't around whenever I first opened up a checking account with Hancock Whitney 30 years ago, whenever it was, 35 years ago. But the app is awesome. I love the Hancock Whitney app where I can chart all of my expenses, checking, saving. If you have a handy line of credit on there as well, you could do it. There's different ways that you could send money with other apps as well. You can control things like direct deposit. It shows you your transaction. You can budget on the app as well. It breaks down your spending, your net worth. It's awesome. It's the Hancock Whitney app. Another reason, HancockWhitney.com.